Millions of dollars in drugs vanished, and a brutal cartel war erupted from San Diego to Tijuana. But the one who lit the fire wasn't a kingpin or a gang. It was a quiet kid from the woods named Danny the Canary. He manipulated the most dangerous men in the underworld, robbed them from within, and survived chaos he created himself until his story ended in a way no one expected, and a buried secret changed everything. Hey everyone, welcome back to True Crime Daily. Hope you're doing great. Today we're diving into a brand new case, truly one of the most mysterious files you'll ever hear about. Let's get started. Let's take it back to the beginning. Danny had a brother named Mike, 2 years older. They grew up poor in a remote part of Northern California, Humboldt County, deep in the woods off the grid. They were orphans. Their folks passed when they were kids, and they had to scrap to survive. The locals helped them out here and there, but mostly they were on their own. Then, 2 foreigners showed up in town, a Spaniard named Marty and a Dutchman named Tom. They rolled up in a massive RV, told the local sheriff they were tourists who loved nature, and bought a plot of land right up against the national forest. They set up shop. But they weren't bird watching. Inside that RV, they had a closed-loop extraction lab. They were buying up trim and shake from local pot farmers and turning it into high-grade honey oil, pure THC distillate, liquid gold. Danny and Mike started working for them as runners, cleaning up, fetching supplies. Danny was barely 18. He was sharp, quiet, and he had this weird habit of whistling all the time. He was obsessed with birds. Marty, the Spaniard, was a bird watcher too. He was looking for a specific type of yellow finch. Danny mimicked the birds perfectly. That's how he got the name, the Canary. Marty and Tom stayed for 15 years. They made a fortune exporting that oil to Europe and selling it to the cartels down south. Danny watched everything. He played the fool, acted like he didn't understand the chemistry, but he was memorizing the process, the temperature, the pressure, the mix. When Marty and Tom finally packed up to retire, Danny made his move. He didn't want to stay in the woods like his brother Mike, who was broke, married, and drowning in kids. Danny wanted the big life. He reached out to the cartel contacts his bosses used. He got patched in with Sam the Truth, a fixer operating out of San Diego. Sam introduced him to the big bosses, the Baker and the Fog. They moved Danny down to a safe house in Tijuana. They needed a cook. Danny told them, "I can make the oil sing." Part 3. The Hustle. Danny and Sam the Truth started cooking, but Danny had a plan. He realized the cartel guys didn't know the chemistry, they just knew the money. So Danny and Sam started cutting the product. They'd take a ton of weed, extract the oil, and then cut it with vitamin E acetate and pine resin. It looked like the real deal, bubbled like the real deal, but it was trash. They sold the trash to the cartel buyers and kept the pure, high-grade oil for themselves. They were making millions on the side. Danny bought a mansion, fancy cars, the works. But Sam was greedy, and Danny was reckless. Sam told Danny, "We can't just steal the product. We need a distraction. If they look at the books, we're dead." So they started a war. Sam knew everyone. He knew El Messiah, he knew the Saudi, he knew the Baker. He started feeding them bad intel. When Danny and Sam stole a shipment of cash meant for the Baker, they called the Baker and said, "We saw El Messiah's guys near the drop." When they ripped off the Saudi, they blamed it on the Fog. Chaos erupted. Shootouts in Tijuana, kidnappings in San Diego. The Saudi actually kidnapped his own brother, Abdullah, over a missing payment that Danny had actually stolen. Abdullah had to pay a Mexican gang $1 million just to let him go. While the bosses were killing each other, Danny and Sam were cleaning out the stash houses. They made off with millions in cash and diamonds.
The heat got too hot, Sam told Danny. We gotta split. I'm staying in San Diego to smooth things over. You go back to Northern Cal, lay low. Danny went back to his hometown, loaded with cash. He bought a massive plot of land right next to his poor brother Mike. He built a fortress. But Danny was paranoid and mean. Mike came to him begging for help. "Danny, I got 7 kids. We're starving. You got millions." Danny laughed in his face. "Get off my property." Then tragedy struck. Mike's eldest son, Alex, a 14-year-old kid who was a bit slow but loved soccer, went missing. He went out to kick the ball around near Danny's fortress and never came back. Mike was frantic. He went to Danny. "Did the cartel take him? Are they looking for you?" Danny told him, "Not my problem. Don't go to the cops or the cartel will kill us all." Mike was terrified, so he didn't report it. He waited by the phone for a ransom call that never came.
Sam, the truth, came to visit Danny and sensed the heat. He told Danny, "You need to move. The cartel is sniffing around." Danny panicked. He packed his cash, millions and hundreds, and fled south again. But not to Mexico. He went to a quiet, seasonal beach town near Oceanside, California. He rented an apartment in a complex that was mostly empty during the winter. It was a safe neighborhood, but it had a secret problem: burglaries. Rich people left their vacation homes empty or stayed there and didn't lock their doors. A crew of thieves was hitting the area hard. Danny liked it. He thought, if the cops are patrolling for burglars, the cartel hitmen can't get to me. He started hanging out at a taco truck down the street. It was run by 2 guys, Sal and Mo. Sal made the tacos, Mo handled the drinks. They were popular. Danny would go there, eat a burrito, smoke a cigarette, and chat. He thought he was blending in, the taco truck killers. Here's the twist. Sal and Mo weren't just taco vendors. They were the burglars. Their MO was simple. They'd identify a target, someone living alone, someone flashy. Then they'd slip a heavy dose of Rufinil, Rohypnol, into the customer's burrito or salsa. The victim would go home, pass out cold, and Sal and Mo would break in at 2 a.m. and clean the place out. They had hit 21 houses this way. The cops were baffled because the victims never woke up. They set their sights on Danny. They saw his gold watch, his attitude. They figured he was an easy mark. One night, Danny eats his special burrito. He goes back to his apartment. The drug kicks in, but Danny, remember, this guy has been testing high-grade THC for years, had a weird tolerance. He gets groggy, but he doesn't fully pass out. Sal and Mo wait until 2 a.m. They pick the lock, but Danny left the latch on. They have to pry the door. Danny hears the noise. He's stumbling, drugged, but awake. Sal and Mo burst in. They expect a sleeping victim. Instead, they find Danny the Canary standing in the hallway, ready to fight. Panic sets in. They aren't killers, they're thieves. But Danny grabs a knife. Sal pulls out his own blade. It turns into a bloodbath. They stab Danny. Once, twice, a dozen times. It was brutal. They tear the apartment apart looking for the cash. They trash the bedroom, drawers pulled out, mattress flipped, but they find nothing. Why? Because Danny was a pro. He had built false bottoms into the drawers and false ceilings in the closets. The millions were right there, inches from their hands, but they were too panicked to find them. They flee, locking the door behind them.
The next day, a local kid named T-Bone, who Danny paid to run errands, finds the body. He calls Sam the truth. Sam rushes over. They realize the cartel didn't do this. It looks like a robbery gone wrong. Sam creates a narrative to protect himself, telling the cops it was the cartel, diverting attention. But the cops get a break, not from the murder scene, but from the street. A few days later, Sal, the taco guy, is found in an alley, stabbed. Police track his partner, Mo. They find Mo in a motel room, packing a van with stolen TVs, jewelry, and a blood-stained knife. Mo cracks in interrogation. He confesses to everything. "We just wanted to rob him," Mo cries. "We drugged the burrito. He wasn't supposed to wake up." Mo killed his partner Sal because Sal accused him of stealing the cash they couldn't find. Irony. Danny the Canary, the man who started a cartel war, stole millions, and outsmarted the biggest drug lords in Mexico, was killed by two low-life taco vendors trying to steal a TV. But wait, there's one last bone to pick. Danny is dead. His brother Mike, the poor, honest man, inherits everything. The millions hidden in the furniture, the land, the house in Northern California. Mike moves into the big house. He starts renovating the garden. He wants to put up a fence. He starts digging near the back wall. His shovel hits something hard. He keeps digging. It's not a rock. It's bones, small bones. It was Alex. Danny didn't just ignore his brother. The day Alex went missing, the kid had confronted his rich uncle, maybe asked for money, maybe threatened to tell people Danny was back. Danny, paranoid and ruthless, killed his own 14-year-old nephew and buried him in the backyard. Mike called the cops. The DNA confirmed it. Danny the Canary died a millionaire, but he died a monster. And in the end, the money went to the brother he despised, the man who found the proof of his ultimate sin. That's our story for tonight, Episode 4. Thank you for following along. May you all be safe and at peace. I send my greetings to you all. We'll be back tomorrow with a new story, a new mystery. Good night.